Hello, and thanks for joining me on another episode of the Tech Exec podcast, where we triple your impact per engineer. As always, I'm your host, Aviv Ben-Yosef, advisor and consultant to tech executives worldwide, and our subject today is Meatspace. I don't know if you know this term, but Meatspace is, as opposed to cyberspace, the real world. And I just got back from Budapest a couple of days ago, and I had a blast speaking at the craft conference. It was my first time in 2 years speaking in a real live conference, and it was really just amazing and exciting to speak in front of a live audience, get to talk to real people after you're done with the talk and everything. It was just amazing. Even more than that, during the talk, I don't remember why, as part of a joke, I said I'm gonna be accepting hugs after the talk. I hugged like 4 people after it. You can do that online. Now, if you've been listening, you know that I believe that remote work is here to stay, and that I think it actually has a lot of benefits. I've been advising to many companies to consider a hybrid mode where they take on some new talent that's not local, because that's, I think, the way to go. Nevertheless, that doesn't mean that you should shun everything that's happening in Meatspace. Even the remote first or remote only companies I work with realize this. I'm seeing more and more companies saying how after they started having regular, once a quarter, once every 2 quarters, offsites where people actually meet and see each other is amazing, because once we meet in Meatspace, people become three-dimensional. We get better relationships. We understand people better. It's easy to generate real empathy and sympathy between different people in the company after they met even only once. And more than just offsites with your team, how about seeing some people professionally in the real world? So yourself, are you going to events? Are your people going to meetups? Are you ensuring that people are out there learning? Because there's some sorts of learning and healthy friction you can't get online. And I hate saying that because I'm a person that really likes sitting in front of my computer all day long, but you just can't get everything that you can get in real life. So, your takeaway from today is threefold. First of all, when it comes to you personally, I want you to consider, are you doing enough in Meatspace? Are you meeting colleagues? Are you seeing peers outside? Are you going to conferences and meetups? Are you taking care of yourself? Don't be boxed in solely to whatever your company is doing. Seek other opportunities to meet people outside. 2, consider which sorts of offsites and meetings should you be organizing within your company. So you can have, for example, once a quarter something with the different teams in your organization, and once every 6 months something that's company-wide or whatever. But ensure that you're doing these. If you can help your team have some sort of co-located offices where they actually meet up from time to time, that's great. If you're a hybrid company where people work from the office several days a week, try and arrange so that there's at least one day where everyone is there, so you get some real connection created. And lastly, realize how important this is going to be in our industry. I think that many people are going to try and find the right balance for them. Some will go to remote-only companies, some will go to physical-only companies, or co-located, whatever you want to call it, and some will go to hybrid companies. And there's a spectrum here about what hybrid means, what remote even means. Are we remote and all in the same country? Are we remote across the world? Whatever. And I think that every company needs to realize where its strengths are, where strategically it wants to be located, and start marketing for that sort of talent. And I would start now. If you've been watching my videos, by the way, which I've been putting out once a week, I've said that even if the market right now looks like you shouldn't be hiring, if you have money in your coffers, this is an advantage you should take use of. Now is the time to get a real talent, because there's less competition. So consider, how are you targeting the new talent that you're gonna need? Maybe, for example, you need to be holding meetups yourselves to attract the local talent. Maybe you need to start having some conferences to attract people in general. God knows there's a lot of demand right now, especially if you're making something worthwhile. So consider, what are your next steps in leveraging Meatspace to get your next hires? That's it for this week. Consider Meatspace. By the way, consider Meatspace for you. If you haven't yet, do check out my London Leadership Leap. It's in just a bit over a month in London, 2 days, physically in Meatspace, where we work together to get yourself an upgrade in your own personal skills. And then after that, we continue working together for 30 days of coaching, one-on-one, you and I. Details are in the show notes. I also recommend that you check out my newsletter. It's once a week, 3 exclusive insights, the best newsletter online for tech executives. The link is in the show notes as well. And if you have any questions or comments, my email is always in the show notes, and I'm always happy to talk to listeners. So reach out. Thanks, and talk soon.